one teacher who believed in us. Show your gratitude with Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominate a public school teacher to win $5,000 for their classroom. This week, we want to give a shout out to Elizabeth Schultz, who's a special education teacher at Valley View Elementary School. Nominate a teacher to thank today at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
Couple 13-14 past. I'm Common. He's tend to be excited and delighted to be joined by the legendary one, Mark Rosen.
Good
How
afternoon.
are you, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Doing well. Well. Since we last talked, so much has changed in the sports landscape. Over at TCO Performance Center, the new Winter Park, over at the Goose that laid the golden egg. And now there are all sorts of trade rumors running rampant over at Target, the Bullseyes, I like to call it.
Yes.
Let's go back in time.
Okay.
I think it was several weeks ago, you told me Kwesi was going nowhere.
I didn't think so. After they signed him the big contract.
And now he's gone. What changed between the time they signed the big contract?
I don't know 100%. Obviously, he was at the Senior Bowl last week, so it wasn't as if they had decided as soon as the season was over that Kwesi was going to get the boot. They waited. They, being the Wilfs, waited until they had another meeting. They met right after the season. They continued with these meetings. So, yeah, I think it took a lot of people by surprise because of the timing of it. I have said to you, my mantra for years and years and years has been that organizations win championships.
Wait, Tanami, can you write this down?
You should have written it down like 5 years ago.
Okay.
And the cohesiveness of said organization. And I think we've seen, I'm not saying the Vikings organization is coming apart at the seams, but there's definitely a sea change going on within that organization. When you fire, we remember the Spielman and Zimmer connection and all that kind of stuff that went on. It looked like Kwesi and KOC.
What's that? Is that one of your connections?
No, it's my daughter. And so I had turned my phone on. So I was a little surprised by it. And I'm sure there's a lot of retrospection that's going to be going on about Kwesi. He didn't do this, he didn't do that. I will throw a little cold water on the whole thing. I know Pelissero weighed in on it earlier today that there wasn't like this huge friction between Kwesi and KOC.
There wasn't?
There's disagreements within any organization. This organization, any organization has...
There's disagreements in this organization? Where?
I just left Abbott's office.
I don't disagree with anybody here.
You're just disagreeable.
All I know is my sources tell me, you didn't hear this from me.
Yeah.
But KOC and Cam don't work well together. They don't particularly like. That's what I heard. So
I heard just the opposite.
Really?
Well, okay. I mean, when I say, I think there's a middle ground between what you just said and what I'm saying.
All right.
There were definitely philosophical differences, but I don't think it was a breaking point. Differences.
One of them, they hated each other, but I just don't think they had a good working relationship. As I've been told, it wasn't a good working relationship.
There's more than a kernel of truth probably to that. Yes. And so the Wilfs had to decide going forward how they're going to do this. Now, Rob Brzezinski, I don't believe is going to be the general manager. He's going to be shepherding, the draft and free agency to an extent with a lot of pro personnel and everything. He's got a lot of help in that building. But I don't think, from being on the business side for all these years, that he necessarily has the appetite to want to jump into that ship. He may throw his name in the hat and really, go through the interview process, but I believe that the Vikings will hire a true general manager to take. And they mentioned George Payton's name, who used to be here. Now he's at Denver. But every time I read about Payton coming here, he's got another year to go on his contract in Denver. So I don't, unless they buy him out. He was the name that...
Why would he want to leave a place where he's about to win has a chance to win a big game to come back to this dysfunctional organization?
I wouldn't call it dysfunctional.
Well, you wouldn't?
Not quite. There's more. There's problems. I'm not suggesting there's
plenty
not.
of them.
Yeah, I mean, but every teams that go through that, you could have said the same thing about the New England Patriots a year ago. I mean, how do you think their fan base was?
They did something right.
They did. We
did something wrong.
Yeah. Well, more than just one.
Yeah.
So and as they say, correctable mistakes? ? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's gone on. We know, and it always comes down to the quarterback position. It seems like in every one of these discussions, and I've said it over and over and over again. The biggest mistake I think the Vikings made wasn't
letting Sam Darnold leave.
Well, it was the idea that they thought KOC. I'll point the finger right at that guy. Saying he thought that J.J. McCarthy would be ready after missing the entire rookie season, not even be able to practice. And it's a question saying, what made you think he was going to be able to jump in with both feet right at the beginning of the season.
I don't think we've heard definitively from anybody that I know of. I've not read or heard anybody say definitively. The one thing we do hear is there was a difference of opinion inside the organization from ownership down through general front office coach on what they should do with the court. There was a piece in The Athletic that said there were those that thought they should have went after Rodgers. They didn't go. There was bitterness. There were people that thought they should have kept Sam Darnold, that they thought Darnold, with what he did with KO's complicated offense, he had the bad game against Detroit and a mediocre game against the Rams, but still thought he was a guy to go there. Who made that final decision to say we're not giving? Was it Kwesi? Was it the coach? Was it the Wilfs? Was it Flores? Was it a combination? And I don't know if we're ever going to find out.
I don't know if we are either. I think it was a combo platter, and I think the idea they could have franchised Darnold for about $40 million, that probably just decided it. But I think KOC's input on saying, I think we can make J.J. McCarthy ready to go, I think was short-sighted, unfortunately. And I felt that. I remember when we were out there for the first scrimmage against the New England Patriots, who I believe are playing on Sunday.
They are.
They had the 2-day scrimmage out there, and the first day JJ looked awful. The second day he looked a lot better. And we're watching him play against Drake May over at TCO.
You thought we were going to the big game?
No, I did not. I did not. I was concerned.
Did at one time.
Well, we were going to the concerned big game. that the Vikings have not had a lot of. And they're open for all the criticism in the world about the players they ended up taking. They have probably their biggest hit is Will Reichard, of all people, the kicker, who's as good as it gets in the National Football League. But they haven't had a lot of high-end draft picks, not a lot of top 50, top 60 draft picks. I mean, they've had some, but not many. Dallas Turner looks like he's getting there. I wouldn't say he's there yet. He's not Will Anderson, but he's making noise about it. We all know some of the rest of the story. When you look at the Seattle Seahawks and what John Schroeder's what they've done with their draft picks, forgetting just the Darnold situation, they've built the team the right way. And it's hard necessarily to hit home runs on all those picks, but they have. They've taken advantage of all of that. The Vikings haven't, and that's why I think ultimately why the trust factor was diminished when you trade down, and you could have had the Lewis, Hamilton thing. They were going to apparently take the year wide receiver from Detroit, and they traded way down. Even at that time, you're going, wait, what are they doing? Well, he was playing that analytical game. He came from analytics, and they went up against the grain against that.
I want to know who signed off on Hawkinson for a second and third to Detroit.
Yeah, well, there's that too.
Because I think the Vikings felt they were a tight end away from contending, and Kwesi's the one that makes the calls and cuts the deal. Did. But did he do that on his own? Did he all of a sudden cut the deal and then call up, on the intercom? Tell KOC, by the way, you have a new tight end. Hawkinson's coming. I got to think it's a joint decision, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's a joint decision. He weighs in on it, but nothing's done without Mark Wilf.
Well, sure.
Putting a stamp of approval on it. Even though Mark's not a football guy.
But is it a rubber stamp?
I do not know that.
But you know what I mean? Because if you're just an owner, you've hired these guys to make those decisions. You got to run it through. But are the Wilfs more times than 99% of the time going, if that's what you want to do it? I don't think
they let the football people handle a lot of the football decisions.
I can't see Mark going, no, don't trade for Hawkinson.
No, he doesn't know enough about it.
That's what I would think.
He honestly doesn't. I don't think that's his forte. He's a businessman. He has a passion for the sport. The Wilfs both do. But they're not football guys. They're business people, but they have a very big investment in wanting to see how it all works out. So I think they may have had a very big impact on, obviously, the decision to, after they met. I think they ultimately were the ones that decided that Kwesi wasn't coming back. So
text message says Pelissero went on Rich Eisen today and said there wasn't any animosity between KOC and Kwesi. It would be nice if the two of you could keep up. I respect Tom Pelissero. He's plugged in.
I just said that. I quoted Pelissero.
But what I'm saying is, so because Pelissero said it, then we think it's gospel. I've had other people that I know that are in Minnesota with the organization every day and have told me that was not a good working relationship. So I don't know, maybe Pelissero could be right.
Well, I'm just saying that there's an in-between. That's why I said I don't think it's one or the other. Right. I think there are There are healthy disagreements. You're not going to agree on any organization.
Did you hear this then? Because this is what I heard.
What's that?
That before KOC signed his extension, said, I need to have more control over personnel decisions. Well, then that would seem to me, if maybe animosity is the wrong word, but that's certainly, like you say, that's a disagreement between what's going on with Kwesi making the decision. I want more say. I don't want to leave it all up to the general manager.
Well, and that's why kind of gets back
and now the general manager is gone, so all the decisions are now in the lap of Kevin O'Connell cannot. He's in charge of this draft, all 8 to 10 picks, because they'll probably get a compensatory. There's no more Kwesi the fall guy anymore. He's out.
And he has support people. KOC, like any other head coach, hasn't been. When Scott Studwell was the director of scouting for the Vikings for decades, he's out beating the bushes. He's out and watching these guys play all the time.
He's in Walla Walla.
The KOCs of the world aren't watching college football.
Correct.
They couldn't tell you, the difference between one offensive tackle from another, or the offensive lineman from the Indiana Hoosiers. To now, he'll get up to speed on it. Of course he will, and he may have a preference of it. But now that Brian Flores has signed a mega contract to be, continue on as a defensive coordinator, he's going to have a say about some things. The pro personnel people who do all the scouting, the college scouting, are going to have a say, at least input. Ultimately, the buck has to stop one place and one place only. And the fact that Rob Brzezinski is going to be, when I use the air quotes of saying handling the draft, he's going to be the facilitator, but KOC is the man in the seat, in the hot seat. And it should be, ultimately.
I like it that way.
It should be, because his job will be on the line this year.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so there's that. Then we had changes with the Twins. We'll talk about that on the other side of the break. And then, of course, we want to talk about these. The rumors are running rampant. The trade deadline is just a couple of days away. It's 2:00 on this Thursday. Yeah. The Wolves did make a trade. Conley, I don't think they've gotten anything yet other than free up money, right?
That's all they wanted.
Yeah, so that's what it is so far. So they're trying to stay under that second apron, blah, blah, blah. More to come, I guess, is before it's over, that they will probably be attempting to trade for another player or players, but I don't think any of us know who it might be. A lot of rumors going around. Could be Antetokounmpo. I've heard James Harden's name being thrown out there. So we'll talk about all those topics starting on the other side of the break. But right now, Tennessee has a keyword for us.
Yeah, the fan wants to give you a shot to win bonus bucks for their national cash contest. Enter the keyword $, at KFAN.com now for a shot of winning. The keyword is $. Enter now at KFAN.com. Bonus Bucks is back on KFAN. We have 9 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday. That's every hour from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. To enter the keywords and learn more, head to KFAN.com.
Couple of 13-14 past. I'm Common. He's Tennessee. Mark Rosen here as well. So also on Friday, just shortly before it was announced that Kwesi Adofo-Mensah was relieved of his duties, the Minnesota Twins and Derek Falvey came to a mutual agreement that, I just don't think this is going to work. I read since that day, it was over the weekend, there was a piece that sort of a real difference of opinion. I don't know if it was necessarily a personality clash, but it was sort of I read into it like that. That's like, Tom's got his way of running. It ain't like Joe. And Falvey just decided, maybe it's time for me to move on. So we, Falvey out. And for now, Zoll is going to.
Young guy.
Young guy. He's going to still do the baseball operation stuff, the business stuff, though, that Falvey was also doing.
Jeremy, is that his first name? I've never met him.
I think so. And then Tom Pohlad is going to do the business part of it. So, again, another major change with
and again, it doesn't resonate. What it does is just cause more confusion within the fan base. I mean, it's sort of like no one's going to pick apart the fact that Derek Falvey saying, "Okay, I'm moving on." Does that signal anything? Does that signal that I'm not getting literally any more help with the payroll? I think we all are acutely aware of because of the moves the Twins made, that everything to me is being set up for after this season, when in all likelihood there's going to be a lockout in baseball. Then they're going to have a new contract. The value of the Twins, among other teams, is going to skyrocket, and that's probably when the Pohlads are going to sell. So in the meantime, put your finger in the dike over here and here and here. On paper, they got a pretty good starting staff if they keep them together. Pablo Lopez and Joe Ryan and Bailey Ober and Simeon Woods Richardson. That's not a bad starting staff. I mean, and you throw in Zeb Matthews and who else? They got one other guy, Festa, what his name is. And then, but then you go, well, what happens after that? I think I heard Lavelle talk briefly this morning. Cole Sands right now is probably the closer, but you need more than one body in that position because, as we all know, the manager, whether it be Derek Shelton now or Rocco before this, they don't want to overuse that guy. And basically, if you look at the Twins' makeup of the team, they're not going to let the starting pitcher go more than 5-6 innings very often, unless Pablo and Ryan give you that rare opportunity with pitch counts to get 7 or 8 in.
Right.
So, I mean, the lineup is, okay. I don't know how the middle of the lineup's going to look like. We know that Royce Lewis is sort of the catalyst, but he's been, he seems to be mentally, he's got to get his head on straight. They have a decent everyday lineup, but it's not, you're not selling tickets and this isn't going to move the needle I don't think one way or another. It's just an internal thing that's going on with this team, and it's all about the box scores, the results, and seeing how they can get fans to come to Target Field this summer. In a division that remains kind of wide open. They're very fortunate they're in a division where there's not necessarily a dominant team. Detroit had a nice bounce back. Cleveland's always there. The White Sox were miserable last year. We'll see if they get better. Kansas City's kind of in that same, middle of the road at best. So the Twins can, in theory, compete in this division, but that's not saying much. And it's certainly not sending, again, the right signal to the fan base given the fire sale they had last year. So I don't know what to say other than that. Derek Falvey and Thad Levine was the other guy, and they came to town. It seemed like they got two really experienced guys that know how to run a baseball operation, but then you realize that running a baseball operation does not entail getting the owners to pony up and become at least semi-competitive financially. So that's kind of where they are, and that remains to be seen how fans are going to respond.
The quote that won't go away from Tom was something he said where, can't we just get away from this payroll thing for a while and see how it works out?
Sure, just ignore it.
And I guess I just don't think he said it quite how he should have. He should have just said what he should have said, and I don't think the fans would think much of this either, but just the payroll is what it is. We ain't jacking it up. Right. We're going to see what we got with our pitching staff and our young guys, and we'll see where we're headed this year, and then we'll build from there. And I do think that's what they're doing. He's basically said he expects this team to compete this year, right, which makes most of us go, well, if you have even less talent, at least on paper, this year than you had last year, and you had the monumental collapse, and the team was terrible, how do you expect? Now, the only thing I guess is you could look at is the division isn't the strongest. It went from 2 years ago where 3 teams made postseason play to now where I did see where, now again, these are just the odds makers doing the over and under. They've got Detroit finishing 17 games better than Minnesota. So that goes to show you that maybe inside the goose that laid the golden egg, they're optimistic. But I don't think it's anywhere. Yeah,
baseball, as we all know, has got a myriad of problems from just a business model right now, and we saw again the Dodgers, signing basically anybody they want to sign. Their payroll is astronomical. They don't care about paying the luxury tax. They don't care about anything about winning another championship. And then, as I said, whether or not all these teams, not just the Dodgers on the top, but let's say a team like the Twins and or the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Dodgers have to come down if they have a salary cap. These other teams have to come up. And the only way to do that is having a television contract that's worthy. When you look at the socialist NFL, where everybody gets the same amount of money for their national TV money, so it's an even playing field. And what we're talking about, we'll get into with the Wolves a little bit, with these very complex aprons that they talk about with financial things that teams have to stay under in order to compete. For the most part, teams are pretty competitive. Baseball doesn't have that. And I think that's why we're going to have the lockout after this year to try to even the playing field. It's going to be a lot of pushing and shoving to try to get it done. But I think the Twins' television contract is still, isn't it run by MLB this year? I mean, I
believe it is.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I think I just saw a story that a whole bunch of teams have just now dropped FanDuel.
Correct.
And they're going to the MLB platform.
Yeah, I agree. So, It's hard to keep up. And if you're just a baseball fan, we grew up just, with box scores and watching the games. And that's what I want to do. We want entertainment in the summertime. We got short summers, relatively speaking. And, you'd like to, I've been a baseball fan. I've been a Twins fan my whole life. And they've made it very difficult to remain that way, to be engaged in the day-to-day process. And, I still love the idea, the concept, but the Twins have made it so difficult to remain loyal to a team and an organization that just, I thought when I covered Calvin Griffith in my early years of Channel 4, and he was the last one where baseball was his business. He and his family made their money on the baseball team and baseball team only. They didn't have any side. They didn't have a banker. They weren't bankers. They weren't this. They had to sell tickets, and they had their bat days. And and you hear all these incredible stories from the Jim Cotts and, the late Harmon Killebrew and
the late Rick Rennick, who just died the other day.
I saw that. Rick Rennick was for most people, I've never heard the name before, but he was instrumental.
He played with the Twins for a while.
He sure did.
Coach. Now, on ESPN, they keep flashing potential trades. They keep bringing up this Bogdanovich guy. Is he related to Peter Bogdanovich?
I don't think so. The director?
Yes, I'm just wondering.
Well, he could be like an unusual name.
He could be like a.
I'm not disputing it. I have no idea.
He could be like his great grandfather.
It's possible.
What was your favorite Peter Bogdanovich movie?
I would say, did he do what was Sybil Shepherd and Jeff Bridges?
He did Last Picture Show.
Yeah, that one.
He did What's Up, Doc?
Yeah, that was a good one,
and
too.
he did Paper Moon. That was good,
Last Picture Show, which was black and white. Sybil Shepherd's, I think it was her debut.
Wasn't that Cloris Leachman in that, too?
I think she was.
Or do I have that wrong? No, I don't know.
I just remember Jeff Bridges.
You're the movie guy. You're the movie guy.
Yeah, that was a classic.
I'm mid-1960s cartoons and sitcoms. That's it.
That's all right.
We'll break. We'll come back. We'll get into the Wolves. A lot of rumors. Mike Conley gone. Traded to the did he get traded? Who did he get traded to? Was it the Jazz?
That was a three-way trade. I don't remember where he was. Detroit or Chicago?
Yeah, that's right.
He went to Chicago.
He went to Chi-Town.
The Bulls.
Same place you're going.
Correct.
We'll pause. We'll come back after with one more segment to go here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
One stage, one epic band. My Chemical Romance at Target Field is August 24th. Grab your tickets before they're gone. Get all the details today at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Couple 13-14 past. Common Man program on Common. He's 10 to be Mark Rosen with us as well. NBA trade deadline Thursday, 2 o'clock. Headline, Timberwolves, Pistons, and Bulls agreed to 3-team trade. Reads as follows. The Timberwolves shed some salary on Tuesday as they prepare their pursuit of Antetokounmpo. That seems to be the prevailing wisdom is that is what they are doing. That it's not just a rumor anymore that the Wolves are attempting to get Giannis Antetokounmpo or at least another upgrade of some sort, like a Harden or something, before Thursday's deadline. Bulls took a swing on some upside, and the Pistons added some shooting in a 3-team deal. The current framework of the 3-team trade is this. Bulls get Jaden Ivey, Mike Conley Jr. from the Wolves. Pistons get Kevin Huter,
I think, yeah.
Dario Saric.
I can't believe Saric. He played for the Wolves. I can't believe it. I didn't even know he was still in the league.
A 2026 first-round pick swap with Minnesota, and the Timberwolves get under the first apron is what they do. So they get
here we are spending most of the hour talking about general managers in this town, the firing of Kwesi, the mutual departure of what's his name from the Twins, Falvey, and Tim Conley, who very quietly goes about his business. Bill Guerin's already arguably, and Tanner would be the first one to weigh on this, that the trade of the decade to getting Quinn Hughes.
I think it's the trade of the.
My God!
Of the century.
Again, last night. He's worth the price of any time you watch him on the ice, and he's on the ice all the time. Anyway, Tim Conley is.
And he has the puck all the time when he's on the ice.
Well, yeah, he does. My goodness!
I came up with a nickname for him.
What's that?
Quinnesoda.
I like it.
Thanks.
Tim Conley.
Why do they boo him at Grand Casino Arena, though? Every time he touches the
find
puck.
Because they expect more.
Yeah.
I mean, what more do they want from the guy? They do it all the time. It's
a big contract. So Guerin's doing his thing, and he may not be done yet. We got the Olympic break coming up, obviously, after one more game for the Wild. But Tim Conley kind of lays in the weeds. Not one of those guys that spends a lot of time in front of the microphones and just does his thing. And I think this is obviously a precursor about what's to come on Thursday. Whether or not they have enough capital now, they're under the apron, to make the money work. What Milwaukee wants in return. But they're in the sweepstakes. They are definitely a player in this thing. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to get him. Milwaukee has lots of options. They could wait till this summer to move him if so desired. But I get the sense they're not going to wait that long. Now, Giannis is out, I believe, until beginning of March. Now it's not that long away, but considering you got the All-Star break coming up as well. But my goodness, if the Wolves were to be able to pull this off, and I know you asked me this, I think a week ago, and I may have changed my mind, which I'm entitled to do. The one guy I don't want to see them leave is Jaden McDaniels. He is, to me, he's a budding superstar.
So then if the deal is, if there's any deal that included to get rid of McDaniels, even if it's to get Antetokounmpo, you'd say no.
I wouldn't like it, but I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. I mean, I think that Tim Conley's a big, he's up at the plate.
He swings for the fenses.
He swings for the fences, and you got to arguably a top 10 player. He could win the home run derby
at the All-Star.
Yeah, and I think the idea, if you had Giannis and Ant out at Target Center every single night, you wouldn't get a ticket in that place.
Well, you would.
Well, I would. Thanks for adding that. Not really.
You'd be Lexus Club and courtside. I
don't get it that often. I've been there 2 games this year. So,
well, you're busy.
I am busy. Not really. But anyway, it's whether it's that. I mean, I was a little surprised to hear about Harden, who's 36. How much he would, he wants the ball in his hands a lot. He's a shooter,
and he really loves playing defense.
He'd fit right in your style of play. And there are other options. Kobe White has been mentioned from the Bulls, but they don't make a move like this to get under the first apron to go get a Kobe White.
What about Ja Morant? Do you think that's a possibility?
I worry about him.
He's got baggage, but
yeah, he's got
can't deny the talent.
No, and although he slid a little bit, and again, he's a guy that likes to have the ball in his hands a lot, and it's really how you're going to be able to work with Ant, and when he likes to have the ball in his hand a lot, but. Getting Giannis would be,
I think I asked you this
unbelievable. But
I think I asked you this the other day. Maybe it was even yesterday. If the Wolves, let's say, if the Wolves stand pat, let's just say they don't cut a deal.
Right.
Do you think with the way the roster is constituted at this moment that they could win the NBA championship? I just don't know if they could.
I don't think they could, even though, I mean, I looked, as you did, we've talked about it off air, their game against Oklahoma City last week. And again, OKC can't expect to play at that level every single night. They're the champs. They're going to get the best shot from every team they play. And they had, didn't they start the season? What was it, 21-1 or something?
Yeah, something.
Well, they're not going to maintain that. I thought they might be, looking at Golden State type of numbers or the Bulls type of numbers, but that was a tremendous effort by the Wolves because they were playing the champs, and Ant said, I take it personal. SGA has what I want. He's got an MVP. He's got a championship. So yeah, he's going to take it seriously. But then, they blew out Memphis the first night, and last night they didn't play defense. So, but I mean, I think that, I generally speaking, no, I don't think they can, this roster itself, because I don't think they have enough bench strength. And Naz Reid is not hitting shots coming off the bench. This team's in trouble. Bones Highland is, he's hot one night, not the next. They don't really have a lot of other help. Obviously, Conley was playing some minutes. Now he's gone. He's with the Bulls. Jaden Clark plays some. He's got moments. He plays good defense, but no, I think they have to make another move. And I think Conley will make that move. I mean, whether he hits the home run with Giannis remains to be seen, or he ends up with a James Harden or something. But I don't, after what we've seen with Conley and his desire, and again, you just had this discussion about the Vikings. Does Conley make this move, whatever move he makes? He's got A-Rod, he's got Laurie now.
Right.
Not Glenn Taylor.
Right.
And obviously Chris Finch, but I heard Chris on this morning against the PA, and Finch is just kind of shrugging his shoulders going, it's not like he doesn't have any input, but he doesn't really.
Right.
I mean, in terms of what
he can say, "Yeah, it'd be great."
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. If we lose McDaniels, we're going to lose a lot on the defensive end. So you guys do what you do.
Do you play the Twin Towers with Giannis and Rudy Gobert out there at the same time? If that were to happen, nice problem to have. Because obviously Gobert is a defensive-minded first and foremost, the defensive player of the year. Like
you like this club, don't you?
Well, I'd love it a lot more if Giannis is on it. But I just like the fact that it sounds as if the Wolves are going to take the big swing at it, and we may not know until Thursday, right when I'm going on the air with you.
We might not know.
That'd be fun, though. Get that breaking news sounder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it is. I mean, we're in that kind of time period right now. We got the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday, obviously. We'll get into that, I'm sure.
We'll get into it plenty.
Nah, we got plenty. Have you decided 100% who you're picking in that game?
Oh, Seattle.
Okay.
The MVP is going to be Sam Darnold. He's going to be thinking about it. He's going to go from being cast aside by Minnesota because we don't think he can win the big game,
and he's going to win
winning the big game and the MVP award. I tried to tell him. I sat here and I said over and over and over again, you have a franchise quarterback in the building. That's what you've been looking for forever, and you're letting him walk.
Well, look at the road he traveled to get here. I mean, just to get here, and then after that season he had, and then here he is in the big game. And I'm sure that maybe.
If I was the general manager of the club, we'd be in the big game right now because I would have kept him.
Yeah, I don't know if that, but the Vikings roster was not as good as Seattle's.
No, but it was pretty good.
It's pretty good, but not
14-3 last year.
I understand that, but I'm just saying that I think Seattle's roster.
It is, yeah,
is a better roster. And
we would have saw in the NFC Championship game. It would have been us against who was their quarterback?
Is it really that much better?
Seattle?
I mean, they got Jackson Smith and Jigba. We got Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson looks a lot better when you got a good quarterback throwing him the ball.
I think their defense is a little bit. And Flores had
like a top 5 defense this year.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm just spitting facts at you.
Yeah, he's spitting facts.
There's one big difference, the quarterback.
Tenenby, somebody wants to know, do you think that Quinn Hughes is a bigger star in this town than Anthony Edwards?
Oh, apparently I got people really triggered today with my
What'd
post.
You say?
Is that what you did?
What'd you say?
Well, I've done this occasionally where I just do like my top 10.
Just to tweak people?
Like my
I saw that.
Minnesota athlete power rankings. Like it's current, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sorry. Quinn Hughes is more consistent than Anthony Edwards right now.
Wait, hold on.
And guess what?
Oh my gosh.
I've seen enough out of Quinn Hughes. He's a top 5 player in the NHL.
He is.
He's top 5. Anthony Edwards is top 5. But Quinn Hughes is more consistent, so I'm putting Quinn there.
Quinn's got a lot of. I know this is it too late for the preposterous statement this year?
Yeah. Is Rosen in? Do you know? Do we have any idea?
I don't know if Rosen isn't. Amazingly, I don't know how he didn't get in.
I would say he's got a lot of Bobby Orr in him. Quinn Hughes. The way he controls the puck, Bobby Orr was impossible to knock him off the puck. He's not Bobby Orr. I understand that, but I'm saying I've never seen a wild player in that capacity that is more difficult. His body control on the ice is
apparently
astonishing.
Never watched Leo Boyven play.
Oh, I watched Leo Boyven throw many a hip check.
So there you go.
He perfected the hip check along with Kurt Giles. I just ran into Kurt Giles. Where? At Kowalski's.
Does he live there as well?
I don't think he lives there, but he's nearby. Okay. I run into him and Gene Washington, the former Viking. He lives nearby there.
Really?
But Kurt was really good at those checks.
Was Gene ever on Rosen Sports Sunday?
I don't think he was. Yeah. His daughter was, I think, because she did a wonderful documentary about Michigan State and Minnesota being the first 2 northern schools to integrate their football team with black players.
Okay.
And Gene was one of the first, of course, to go to Michigan State, and Bobby Bell came to Minnesota along with Carl Eller, and that was a really big deal. Duffy Doherty and Murray Wormath were the first 2 coaches to employ black players here in the North.
Have you watched the Netflix special Miracle yet?
Of course, watched it Friday night.
You did. What did you think?
I loved it. I was crying. I had tears in my eyes.
Yeah.
I had not seen a lot of the video, and then someone sends me a picture. It's like being in the World Series.
Are you in it?
I am. I'm not making that up. I had no idea.
You were in the documentary?
Yes, for 2 seconds. There was a picture as soon as the medal ceremony was over, when Ruzioni invites everybody up on the podium, that famous shot.
You went up on the podium?
No. I was on the bench, though, and the players were skating by, and I had a photographer with me, of course, and I grabbed Eric Strobel, who's from Rochester and was on the U.S. Olympic team, and I knew Eric way back when. So I grabbed him, and someone had a shot of me, and much like the World Series shot.
The famous one.
Right. this one, and I just went, what? So I had to look for it because it goes by fast. So I
there you were.
There it was. Yeah, it was a really, especially if you want to get ready for
I just
the
think
Olympics.
you feel better now than you did in that picture back in
100%.
1980.
100%. I don't know about that. I'm going to have knee replacement surgery.
You are?
Yeah. Let me guess, State Fair time.
That's exactly, you were reading my mind. When I walked into Abbott's office, I got him shaking. He and Barb were shaking their heads. And I did. I got a cortisone shot yesterday in my right knee. The doc goes, Mark, you can push this around for like 3-4 months, but you need to get that thing replaced.
3-4 months, let's see.
So that's
February, March, April, May. I think you got 6, 7, 8 months.
I got probably the end of June, but I can milk it.
Close circuit to the text message from the 701. We, as the co-host of Rock Talk, we are aware, rest assured, that Chuck Negron, the Three Dog Night singer, died yesterday or today at the age of 83. That will be our lead story tomorrow on Rock Talk with Brian O coming your way at 1:15 tomorrow. So we will definitely be talking about that.
Love Three Dog Night.
Can you name one song by Three Dog Night?
You were going to ask me
one of his favorite bands, and he can't even name a song.
No. I loved because I used to listen to it when.
That's called that's called Joy to the World.
Joy to the World, yeah.
Jeremiah was a bulldog. And there was a song, One is the loneliest number that. And there's Up, and then there is Up in the Country.
Man, every time you hear about someone passing right now, it's like 83. Man.
It's one of the first albums I ever had, and the album for Three Dog Night that I had, it had a perforated poster. When I mean perforated, you could pull it out of the album and you could put it up on your wall. And it was the three members of Three Dog Night in this really narrow hallway. It was really cool. I had it up on my wall because I thought it was the greatest thing ever. Anyway, so we'll talk about that tomorrow during Rock Talk, and then Tennessee is going to put together a rock rank for Brian Oak to dive into tomorrow. The other story I saw, so of all the bad luck, Lindsey Vonn in her last run before the Olympics was in Switzerland somewhere.
Right.
And the weather's not good. She crashes. It's now she's airlifted from the ski slope afterwards.
Correct.
And she goes to the doctor. She says, quote, "My knee is not swollen. With the help of a knee brace, I'm confident that I can compete on Sunday. And as long as there's a chance I will try, I will do everything in my power at the starting gate." This is despite a torn ACL. She has a torn ACL. She's going to say she's going to eat some dirt, rub a little Robitussin on it, put a brace on, and give it a try. I wish her the best. I'd like Sheldon or your knee guy, whoever that is,
Dr. Wolf,
to tell him to see if Dr. Wolf, is that even possible? Now, you might be able to complete the run, but is there any chance to compete at a high level? I'm not saying she shouldn't try. It's amazing to me that she's even going to when I think torn ACL, I think wide receivers are out for a year.
Running backs. Yeah. I mean, and it's not exactly like you're going down in a straight line. I mean, anyone, and we've all, we talked about looking forward to the Olympics. I know you love figure skating, and I do too. Most people do. It's the most popular event normally on during the Olympics, but downhill skiing to me is a close second, if not. And obviously, the idea of watching Lindsay at 41 trying to compete at the highest level, one more shot, and now this, and she's still saying she's going to give it a go. I don't know what. I know you can do things with an ACL before you have the surgery, but I don't know what kind of wrap that she has, what kind of drug she has to take, or it's not like you're doing one run.
Yeah, you know more than me. I thought if you have a torn ACL, that's it. You're barely able to walk. It's crutches.
I will say there was a year a while ago with the Minnesota Wild that it was never reported that Andrew Burnett played like half a season with a torn ACL.
Seriously?
So I don't know if that skiing motion, I'm sure it's not going to feel good. I don't know if you can perform at your highest, but the downhill skiing is a little bit similar to skating. That if maybe that's just it's just different than having to run.
Yeah. It's astonishing. I don't know when her first run is, but the opening ceremonies are Friday night, and I think probably next week sometime.
I think it's soon. I think it's in that first week.
Yeah,
the Olympics runs 10 days usually. Is it 2 weeks? 10 days?
2 weeks.
I think it's early on, but
wish her well, obviously, but and the idea, the courage that it takes to try to give her one more shot. Nothing was going to deny her that opportunity. So
similar to the courage you showed us when, after getting stung by a bee.
I don't think
you came back again. You came back the next day. I couldn't believe it.
I did. Not only that, but I stayed through the bee sting with the ambulance right now and nearby. a highlight. That was definitely a highlight. Oh, my.
By the way, C.J. Ham officially announced his retirement.
Yeah. Harrison Smith, though,
not
quiet
surprising,
still.
but
No, not he made that very clear.
Nice career.
Yeah, really. And
was he in the league 10 years?
I think so. Yeah, he'll get a nice pension.
He had a 10-year career. And
yeah, he'll stick around.
I think he played at a small school.
Yeah.
Augustana,
nice
right?
job,
He went to Duluth Denfeld.
Yeah.
Right now, it appears like the Wolves are the odds-on favorite to land Giannis.
Is that what who's saying? Who's reporting that?
This is NBA reporter, pretty reputable. He says Minnesota 24%. Evan Sidery.
I know that. I've seen that he was tweeting at a frantic pace yesterday.
I mean, he said, and I don't, again.
I like how you said he was really reputable, and then you didn't know how to pronounce his name.
I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm just looking at his. You have to be careful because a lot of times it's with like satire. They say satire in the thing, but Minnesota 24%, Heat 13, Warriors 10. Knicks
they haven't had
3.
a percentage to it.
Of course, you can bet on anything. Yeah. And he's tweeting a lot about he says right now it seems like it's either going to be the
He's coming here.
You think so?
Yeah, that's where he wants to go. Like he's dictating where he wants to go.
I thought Miami was a place he might want to go.
Hey, you can win here. They ain't got Ant in Miami.
Nope. Get that parade route. Wow, what the Wild?
And he's already been in Milwaukee, so the cold's not going to throw him off.
No,
he's already experienced
Midwest
it.
guy. Yeah.
Where would your
2 parade routes?
Where would your if we acquire Antetokounmpo by the trade deadline at 2:00, what does that do to your athlete power rankings then?
I think Giannis probably would slide up to number 3 behind Quinn Hughes and Anthony Edwards.
Wait, is that who you have number 1 and 2 right now?
I'd put Antetokounmpo.
I got Kuroka Kaprizov number 3.
I put Antetokounmpo at number 1. Right away, immediately. Boom. Number 1. Have
you seen Quinn Hughes play?
No, I have not. Actually.
So good.
I've yet to see him play.
He's a magician out there.
Yeah, he is. He's Bobby Orr-like.
Have you seen Antetokounmpo play? He's a magician out there.
He's won a ship.
He's won a ship.
Yeah. But he also seems like he's hurt half the time.
And you know what? Here's another strange
thing. He's on the back 9.
Here's another thing I can tell you. I've never seen Antetokounmpo play either, so I don't know.
What do you like better, watching Antetokounmpo or saying Antetokounmpo?
How long has he been in the league?
It
was just.
Well, I mean, he's 31 years old.
It was just 2 weeks ago that I was able to pronounce his name.
I still can't.
No, you just call him the Greek kid.
Oh, I call him Giannis.
Remember when you were in love with Kalik Manis? You just loved him so much.
I know. Well,
remember when Dave Schwartz compared him to Patrick Mahomes?
Oh, that's right.
I wouldn't go that far.
Schwartz didn't he?
He did, yes.
And he didn't win the PST, did he?
I don't know how he didn't.
Wow. Well, there's that.
I still have my doubts about Giannis. I won't believe it till I see it.
Well, you'll see it courtside. You'll be there that first game. I know you will. And not in the media section. You'll be sitting there next to
Well, he's not going to play till March, so no matter what happens, he's not going to play till March. So he's out with some calf injury, which is a little. Again, all these things are problematic the older you get.
We could have traded for Jaren Jackson. He lit us up last night.
He sure did. They traded him today.
Yeah, well, they got 4 players, including Walter Clayton Jr., 3 future first rounders. Why wouldn't you want to do that?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see you tomorrow at 2 bells, right?
What is tomorrow?
Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. Okay, that's right.
Cinnabee, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. What a great day. We enjoyed our visit with you, as we always do. We'll see you tomorrow noon. Stick around. Big Ticket, JG, they're next, right here on The Fan.
Every week comes true, and now till we meet again.
I'm a fraud.
Yes.
Adios, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen. Good night.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Minnesota!
And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.